Picking up from my last video, as I mentioned before, we've got a bit of a situation in the latest Dead Rails update, and I'm hesitant to even call it an update because it's not really what we've been waiting for. Instead, the devs decided to bring back two of the old events, Horsing Around and Fool's Gold. While it's not exactly a massive update, it's definitely a nice little distraction, especially with how things have been a bit quiet for the past month. I know it's not what we were hoping for, but it at least keeps us busy for a little while, and I guess that's something, right? However, I want to remind you, as I said in my last video, that the real upcoming update, the one with the mastery classes, is coming in early August. Based on what we've seen from Rico Miller and the question helpers in the Dead Rails official Discord, the update will be released around the 2nd of August, but it's not 100%. That's the target date. Now, if you're in the US, you'll know that updates for most Roblox games tend to drop on Saturdays, and Dead Rails has pretty much stuck to that schedule. So, unless I'm completely wrong, it's safe to expect the update to drop on that day. But if I'm off, feel free to correct me in the comments. I was actually browsing through the questions tab in the Discord earlier, and I found a message from a moderator claiming that Rico Miller had personally messaged him, saying the update could be released between July 29th and 2050. Now, we all know that was likely just a prank or joke from the moderator, but you never know. Maybe he was hinting that the update could come as a surprise. But I wouldn't get too carried away expecting an unexpected update. Let's stick with the 2nd of August as our solid date, and we'll go from there. As far as the Mastery Class update goes, the official leaks and information are pretty clear about what's coming. We'll definitely be seeing a new Mastery Class, a complete UI overhaul, and some redesigns of certain items. For example, they've shown us the snake oil redesign, but personally I feel like this is a bit underwhelming for a full month of waiting. I really hope Rico Miller and his team have a big surprise for us, something that goes beyond just the basics of class mastery, UI overhaul, and item redesigns. And that's exactly why I'm here today, to talk about some of the concepts that have been floating around in the Dead Rails Discord. These ideas come from the community, and I think they could make fantastic additions to the game. Before I jump into it though, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. I'm aiming to reach 20,000 subscribers by the end of summer, and with your help, I know we can make it happen. Thanks for all the support, and now let's get started. Starting with a popular concept, intersections and ledges by Tuerts. First up, let's talk about a really cool concept from Tuerts. He came up with the idea of adding intersections and ledges to the Dead Rails terrain to make it feel a little more dynamic. Let's dive into how this could work. For intersections, the idea is to have points in the game where the railroad splits into two directions. To continue down the right path, players would need to pull a lever, or else they risk crashing the train. If you don't pull the lever, the train will either crash or take damage, depending on your speed. But here's the cool part. If you act fast enough, you can reverse the train and correct the path, unless you crashed at speeds over 63 kilometers per hour. This could really add some exciting tension to the game, making each run feel a little less predictable. The current linear tracks could use a bit of a change-up, and intersections would definitely help with that. Now let's talk about ledges. This would be a part of the tracks where the train runs over a canyon, and in these areas you need to drive cautiously, around 30 kilometers per hour, because speeding would cause the track to collapse. If you mess up and the train collapses, you lose your run, and all the revives will be wasted. What makes this even more challenging is that if the train falls, you'll have to climb up the canyon on foot without your train. Ledges would definitely raise the stakes and make each journey a bit more thrilling. Sure, it would be a bit complicated to implement, but if the devs put their minds to it, I think it could be done in the next update. Moving on to a new structure concept, Death Altar. By Elysium next, let's talk about another concept from Elysium who never disappoints with his ideas. This one's called the Death Altar, and it's a structure that would appear randomly behind a mountain. To activate the Death Altar, you need 3 golden skulls. One is already placed on the altar, and the other 2 are hidden in locations like Sterling Mine and Prescott's office. Once you gather the skulls, you can summon a powerful new boss. The boss? The Grim Reaper. Once you've placed the 3 skulls, you'll need to wait until Vampire Night before the Grim Reaper can be summoned. To complete the ritual, you need to kill 15 vampires or outlaws and throw their bodies into the altar. Once you've done that, the Grim Reaper will appear with 12,000 HP, can fly, and will insta-kill you with a single hit. If he kills you, you won't be able to revive, and the night ends when he's defeated. The Grim Reaper can also summon ghosts, which deal 50 damage per hit and have 500 HP. Once you defeat the Grim Reaper, he turns to dust and drops his scythe, a weapon that deals 150 damage per hit. It also has the ability to insta-kill enemies with souls and can make them your ally. This boss fight sounds incredibly intense, but the rewards would be worth it. Another idea from the Discord, new POI as you saw from the thumbnail in my video, it's going to be a concept of a secret bunker. This time, a new POI called the Secret Bunker. Here's the backstory. Along with Tesla's secret projects, the government also commissioned Victor Frankenstein's grandson Klaus to continue his grandfather's work and create the ultimate soldier. Things were going well, until they went terribly wrong. The secret bunker is hidden underground, and after about 30 kilometers, you can spot it because of the two tall antennas sending electricity to each other. Once inside, you'll find an infirmary, armory, lab, and sleeping quarters. But to progress, you'll need to fight against scientist zombies and soldier zombies. After pulling levers in each room, you'll gain access to the final room, where a switch unlocks rewards and releases 2 super soldiers that you'll have to fight. These super soldiers would have 500 HP and full armor, and once defeated, they drop awesome loot. One of the most exciting rewards here would be the Portable Maxim, a weapon that deals decent damage but has slow reload times and will reduce your movement speed. This POI sounds like it would add a lot of excitement to the game, especially with its tough enemies and unique loot. Revamping the Liquid system in Dead Rails now, let's talk about an idea that could really change the way liquids work in Dead Rails. As it stands, liquids don't have a huge impact on the game, but this concept would change that by giving liquids more of a purpose. For example, if a class is covered in water, they'd get 10% more regeneration from all sources and more stamina. If they're covered in milk, they'd get a small health buff and the chance to parry melee attacks. Blood would heal players more, while zombie blood would blur their vision, slow them down, and make them take more damage. The primordial soup would allow necromancers to revive enemies and grant them a second life if they're covered enough. This would give players more incentive to use and collect liquids, making them feel much more valuable. Let's wrap things up with some mastery class ideas. Specifically, the Bounty Hunter class would unlock after killing 250 outlaws. It would be great for farming bonds since outlaws would have a 15% chance to drop a bond upon death. Bounty Hunters would also be detected from farther away, making them more of a challenge to play, but the bond farming potential would make it worth it. Vampire Train. Finally, the Vampire Train. This train would cost 315 bonds, and it would have an awesome synergy with the Vampire class. When you exit the train, you'd get 30 seconds of immunity to the sun, which is a great bonus for vampire players. During a red moon, when vampires spawn, they won't attack you unless you want them to. The train can also feed on blood, making it travel 1.5 times faster than regular trains. Given all these perks, I think the price is well justified, especially for those of you who play as vampire. So, there you have it. These are some of the most exciting Dead Rails concepts from the community, and I really hope Rico Miller and his team take note of them. Let me know what you think about these ideas in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.